This is Rebel Heart Rose here, coming to you live. Uh, my review on Baby Reindeer. I love how the show is bringing to life situations that have been going on that shouldn't have been. For someone to be brave enough to be vulnerable with his story and have to come forward, yes, that takes a lot out of you. Overall, there's gray areas for me. But overall, it got me intrigued. It got me to open my eyes up to what's going on, and that's what it was meant to do. The real life stalker is having her say on it now. The thing about putting things public, they'll people with no life will go and try to find the person who did it, and they'll bother them anyway, to the point of bullying them. Two wrongs don't make a right. I always believed in that cliche. Two wrongs don't make a right. What was all true and what was all tweaked to make it entertaining? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. But the point was to just focus on what's happening behind the scenes to when you go and try to make it up to the top and how many are grooming. I think that's the basis of what we need to focus on. And it's horrid that a lot of people get away with it. But another question is to ask, how long does it take to recover from that if one does it? Well, does it mean they have to ruin the rest of their life or just part of it to prove they're not doing it anymore? I believe in redemptions. How far are we going to keep being judgmental to those who try to make things better? I'm not talking about the ones that will keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I'm talking the ones that show improvement. Is people going to take all that hate and be blinded to the improvement? If that makes any sense. I'm just... because I've noticed some things. I know Will Smith isn't in this same boat, but everyone's so pissed off at one slap which, let's just say I had a little sister that hit me on my boob. Let's just say that. I've forgiven her a little bit after she did it. It's no big deal to me. And as long as I wasn't beat up, but I was like twice her size at that time. Half sister though. It just takes away from me by holding grudges way past their due date. And I'm wondering, because the only thing that's tying Will Smith to this is the audience, the cancel culture. But I'm not here to talk about Will Smith. I got off topic. Baby Reindeer. At times, you feel empathy for the stalker. Because she was alone. She probably felt lonely. And he probably made her feel good about herself. I think the character the character that he's portraying, the actress who played her role was phenomenal. She did an amazing job. Oh my gosh. And I cannot go up to a guy and grab him by the balls. Seriously, I cannot do that. To me, I was taught to respect someone else's body. So, even if it's just acting, it's like, really. And I've heard how some of my friends have done it to some of my guy friends, and I'm like, what? I cannot just go up to a guy and just put my hand in a private. No, really? Really? What's about respect and consent? That should matter for men too, by the way. Sheesh. Again, love the actress who plays her. I'm not going to take away from what he's been through. He's been, oh, what's his name again? Dad. I was right. I'm not taking away from his story or the truth of the matter. But there were parts in the movie that felt like he could have egged her on for some parts. I don't think there was any completely innocence, anything in there. There was like a mixture of gray areas. That makes any sense at all? A mixture of grays. Because he should not have stalked her at her place. He should not have went to that place. He should have just called it in automatically and not egged it But then again, he was wired for something dark. So I don't know. It's like you try to make sense of it. Seriously, if I was a victim of a stalker, I would try to stay away from that person completely. Not follow them to their house. Like, people confused me of stalker, but I overdo it with friendships. At times in the past, I overdo it. I didn't respect certain boundaries unknowingly, but no one explained it to me. Nobody let me know, except someone very rude at that time said something, I wish you luck in your future endeavors. It was very rude without listening to my side of the story of it. So, there's people who will not be direct. And I think that's an issue. That's why I'm trying to be more direct. Because we got to put our foot down with boundaries. And the stalker grabbing the balls, that should have been red flag. Go to police after that happened and be honest. But, however, trauma stops us. I understand the story. Understand trauma. We had to go through a lot. And I empathize with him. With the God. But to everyone going through the groping. Because I was basically raised where none of that's happened to me. Except maybe a couple times. I know one time for sure at the bowling alley on my birthday. And I'm not near that person ever again. I try to stay away from that person. Because he's a horrible person. But nothing bad as to that extent of it, though. So compare, mine was mild. I couldn't imagine. I know my friends have talked about their encounters with people that were a little stalker-esque. And I did have one try to follow me all the way to my house from the gym one time. That was scary. I don't go to that gym ever again. I had my hardest heartbreak at that gym. My first ever. I still think they never once talked to me about it. They never once sat down or talked to me directly because I am more understanding than people give me fucking credit for. And I would still be friends with the family. I try to keep my distance from anyone who thinks I'm out to hurt them, but I'm not. I have a big heart that loves to come off strong. but mean no harm. So I can understand some people from that point of view. So I back off. My heart goes out to the people who've been groomed, who've been going through situations like baby reindeer, getting taken advantage of, being used for personal gratification. It's sick, it's twisted. And how I do believe people can come back from being that, because I want to be lenient and give grace, but at the same time, I am, because can't explain it. You'll end up in that position one day. And I'd rather not be put in that position. So my mind's staying open, but there'll be a lot of hard work to do to make up for that. But the victims is what we need to concentrate on. If the victims aren't healed and they still going through it, I'll be on the side of the victims. It's what the victim chooses to forgive. It's up to them to forgive or not. And and it's okay if they don't want to. It's okay if they gotta, you have to live with that aftermath of it. But the people should. This is why I always instill do unto others as you want others to do to you. That's why I keep that constantly in my mind. And not be out on my own at night or anything. This world is getting scary for women. It's like going back to the dark ages for women. We fought for voting rights, and now we're just almost getting to where that we can go in jail for something we didn't even do. Like get raped, groped, groomed. How is it always the woman's fault? I mean, in Baby Reindeer, it's obviously her stalking part. But do we repeat the patterns, or can we be more self aware to break the patterns? There's so many that I thought I knew were good people, but I found out they were nothing but backstabbers and talked bad and lied on me. You know? But I don't retaliate. I just drop them, move forward, and try to keep that. Is that healthy? Have I dealt with it the way I should? These are questions that we need to be asking ourselves by going through situations with people. But hearing about all of this happening behind the scenes in Hollywood and stuff, it really, well, it happens here out from Hollywood as well, where kids are getting kidnapped. Indigenous women are getting kidnapped. And there's sex trafficking still going on in certain parts, even away from Hollywood. Where there's the greatest light, there's the chance of the greatest dark. The yin and yang. You can't escape one or the other. It's like it has to be both. We have to have a balance of light and dark. But that's technically evil. When will we quit using one another? And on top of that, there's a story of this actor guy talking about he had a friend who his friend's friend had a date, and that date wanted to numb her up so he could eat her like he did other women. He was a cannibal. We got cannibalism out there. We got so much. But there is also such beauty and wonder in the earth, the creation that we're failing to protect. How do we handle these issues? I like shows that'll bring it to life. I like the name Baby Reindeer. She did call him out because she knew he'd been hurt. But he didn't like that. In this show, he didn't like that. But she had him nailed, pegged. I wonder how much of it was actually, I know based on true, is kind of twisted to where it's entertaining, but some didn't really happen. And I just can't help but wonder which parts really did happen or which parts were put in for dramatic purposes. Because that could lead to defamation of character, you know. And by the way, everyone, if someone tells you not to go out looking for the individual that the character is based off of, don't do it. We're not the judge, jury, or prosecutioner. You know, we're not supposed to do that. Let the court system do that. I'm at a crossroads where I think people go way too far in their judgmental attitudes. Like they can't let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Especially when it came to one slap. There are times in my life I had that feeling that I wanted to slap someone. I even slapped myself to wake myself up. I mean, come on. And they have slapping it in a movie. We see people slapping each other in movies. We condone it in everything else in daily lives. Disciplining a child, where a lot of people thinking it's okay to hit a child. But yet, when it's two grown men having a discord, I know my dad did this one thing to two brothers. Ronnie's two step brothers were having a fight. My dad got boxing gloves and told him to duke it out. That has helped solve a lot of issues just by getting everything out. I'm not saying it should have been broadcasted on TV. I'm just saying put them in a ring. Put them in a private place where they can duke it out. People are so quick to shame everyone else that they don't realize they've done that before to other people and actually end up being hypocrites. That's why I'm very careful on who to judge. Who am I to judge anyone when I am not perfect myself? That's why I let it go. And besides, maybe Will didn't want to attend any more of those things. Because I heard they could be a rather bore. I'm just being snarky. I didn't find Chris Tucker's jokes funny at all, though. I mean, Chris Rock. I love Chris Tucker. I met Chris Rock. Chris Tucker, funny. But Jackie Chan, Richard. I went from Baby Reindeer to Richard. Yeah. I'm not sticking to scripts. I'm just enjoying talking. But we have to fight against the grooming. And Baby Reindeer really woke me up to what is wrong. But let's try to figure out how we can solve the issue. Solve the problem. Instead of just putting band-aids over a wound. Let's have some ointment to heal it. You know? I believe in giving grace when it's earned. But grace don't have to be earned. A lot of people think that love is deserved. No, none of us actually deserve love, do we? We all make mistakes. We all fuck up. But do we really all deserve love? That's not what it's about. That's why I love the quote from Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman. I love it. It isn't about deserve. It's about love. Love is loving the person imperfectly, loving them anyway, despite their flaws, even flaws of character, and imagining, yeah, that you don't want to be without this person, and you just want to be there and be the best you can be for that person. You think of their emotional well-being just as much as your own. Not above, not a below, but equal. Instead of making fun of someone for being different, understand that they may have been through a lot of shit. They could have been groomed, they could have been raped. Just be kind. They may need that friendly hand, but with healthy boundaries, you know? And text so many times. I mean, I try not to overdo it with the texting or the talking because I want someone to focus on their work. I mean, we got a life. I don't want it to interrupt anyone if they're in the middle of something, if they need to focus, they need to focus. What happened to the rules we grew up in elementary school? Keep your hands to yourself. Respect other people's belongings and whatnot. I keep those in my heart because I respect other people. My problem is well, that I haven't respected myself in a while. And I've finally learned to respect myself and my boundaries enough to put my foot down. We can have boundaries while being civil and not cuss. Yeah. I caught something. Hold up. uh, finally. Finally. Never you mind. But it did its part. People have big hearts. But no one should put peer pressure on someone to go along with them because of their own perspective. We need to learn different perspectives and then decide what's best and compromise. Some things you can compromise, some you can't. But you can't compromise on grammar. taking advantage of someone's want and need to be successful is horrible. I do ask, can, what's his name? Who was it that, Kevin Spacey, yeah. Can he come back from what he did? Was it crocodile tears or him actually being remorseful for going through it? Hmm. It it's sad to see a person with talent do someone wrong and then he has to pay the consequences. But has he learned from it though? The most important thing is if he's learned something from it. Isn't that right? People are allowed to learn and grow and change. People can change. I I will put that out there, but however, is Kevin Spacey, is he able to change? Does he want to change? I feel sorry for his victims. I don't feel sorry for Weinstein. I don't feel sorry for any of them who took advantage of ladies. I don't feel sorry for anyone who take advantage of younger people or older people. However, no, there isn't no however. I do still believe people can change. It's always up to choice. It's their choice. It's not up me to forgive them. It's for the victims to forgive. Me, it's sad that talent had to be wasted on people like R. Kelly. Those who go after young girls, high school girls. And he had talent. Wasted away, poor Leah. The industry needs to call out more doing the grooming. And they're the ones that need to fall. I'll leave it at that. But it was a good. Baby Reindeer was good enough to get the message across. It was eye opening. I'll leave it at that. Ciao for now. And next time, I'll be probably talking about Bridgerton next week. Because I'm going to wait up till midnight tonight. And I'm going to watch it. Oh, I'm so excited for it. Are you ready for it? The second part of the third season. I've watched the first part several times over. And I can't wait until Colin tells Lady Featherton off. Come on. That was like a chef's kiss from the clip that I've seen. I said, finally, someone stands up to for Penelope. The reason I connect so much to the show because I am Penelope. I am Penelope. I keep to myself. But I have a lot that I try to stand up for. I'm getting better at standing up for myself. Except I don't gossip. I don't put it out there and make money off of it. Now, at that time, that's all she could do to earn money. So I understand that. And she cares about people. She go to war for the people she loves. And I'm right there with her. I don't you? And Nicola does a good job with it, though. I could talk forever on that. Excuse me. I always thought it was polite to say excuse me after you burp. Burping alone can be rude, but if you politely say excuse me, it's polite, it's proper. And it's better out than in. It's better than getting acid reflux. And in the time past, that hurt like crap when I had it to where I hurt each time I don't eat for so long and I get that acid and I have to get up and walk and belch. It hurts. Oh, I'll let y'all go. Ciao for now.